When you're working with the translucent one, you can actually start lifting it once it's got a nice film over the top. And you'll see it actually lifts quite nicely. Be careful, the underside can be a little bit sticky, so, and you'll also find it sticks back on itself now. It's not quite dry enough yet. I should actually let it dry a little bit longer. But you see how it actually pulls off, and you can see it is virtually see-through. Now there's a nice little piece. I just want to grab my palette knife here, and the palette knife just helped me lift. This is why the plastic is nice, because you can maneuver the plastic easier, and you can actually start lifting it. If it's still very wet underneath, just take your heat gun or hairdryer and just blow it slightly, just so that you don't get paint all over your hands. Remember, the paint will get hot. See how nice and sticky that is? I'm going to leave that for another 15-20 minutes to dry, and then I will carry on. When you're confident that your stuff is dry enough, gently lift it. You're going to find a little bit of it still probably damp underneath. Of course, it would be a lot better if you left it for a day or two to dry completely, but I'm going to lift it down. You're starting to see the effect we're going to get. Now I'm also scraping up a little bit of the glue that's left behind, and I want to just keep lifting it. You can see what I'm doing. Now remember, this side will be a little bit sticky, which is what we really would like ultimately, because that's going to make it a lot easier when we start putting it on our ghost. So wrap that around that finger there and continue. A little bit of patience here will go a long way. Okay. Okay. Now you'll see I've got this really messy piece at this stage, and now you can start putting it on. Now because that one side is still tacky and wet, you're going to find it'll stick on your doll quite simply. Now I want to bring it around, and obviously, I mean, it's not carved in stone how you should lay it. I want to just stretch that a little bit, and obviously we want to cover a little bit there. Now there already you getting the effect. Now I would leave it to dry, because once it starts drying, now you're going to get that lovely wispy effect. Just want to, but then I will come back and just want to get this to flow back this way. There we go. Now you're going to have lots of little bits still that you can take off, very wispy pieces, and those very wispy pieces now come very handy, because that's what you want to sort of put on her, around her head. Let's just get this off here. See how those little wispy pieces will now start. Just take that back slightly, and you can continue. Now I actually did 3 or 4 layers like that eventually I achieved that. This, you'll see, hasn't got the glitter in it. This one is just plain, but I let this one dry completely before I actually started playing with it. But you'll see at the back here how it's stuck down, and it really is just all loose. So I'm going to let this dry a bit more before I stretch it anymore to get any more points out of it. Bring this back here a bit. See how nice it starts going into holes? Okay, it's just a little bit too wet still. I shouldn't have taken it quite out yet, but already there you see how we're getting that effect. And let it go down. And when you get a piece that breaks off like that, just put it back somewhere. Now, some of the dolls have got armholes in them which are really nice because you can actually feed that into your armhole and make it look like it's coming out of the armhole. We're going to stretch that a bit. And it's almost like a rubber. So you can just keep stretching, playing, and putting it into some sort of form that you're happy with. And if it doesn't want to stick, just put a little dot of glue there, and voila, you're starting to get the effect. Put that on there. When it's too wet, you'll find you've got quite a bit of glue, and if you've got a lot of glue, loose glue there, just almost sort of move it around a bit, that you can pull it out just now and wisp it a bit. There we go. See how you're getting that little point there? That's from the loose glue. Now if you find you haven't got enough glue and you need more, just put some glue on. Remember, your glue will dry into a form. And again, just wisp it up that you can almost get little points out of it. See those lovely little points on her head? And remember, if you're not happy, just put her in water, the glue will dissolve, and start again. We did this a couple of times before we were really happy with the effect. I had the idea and I knew what I wanted from the effect, but we played with it for a while first. I'm going to leave her to dry for a bit, and then I'm going to do another, while I'm letting that one dry, I'm in fact going to do another long thin piece of glue. I just want to find where I've done with my tacky glue quickly. And this time I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. There we go. Take your palette knife and just... Now I didn't put paint in this one, because this one I really wanted to go into wispy pieces. So I'm just not too thin, but thin enough. See, you've got a little bit of body in it still there. Now I didn't put glitter or anything in this one this time, because I now want to create these long wispy pieces that in fact will go like that and come around her throat. So I just want to do that. And with it being slightly thinner, you'll find with the heat gun it does dry quite quickly. So just remember, if you're playing with the heat gun, not on your quilting board, it will warp your board, the heat. Rather lift it up like that. Now if you do it on glass, of course you can put the glass in your oven on a very low heat, say 50 degrees, for about 15 minutes, and it'll dry out quite quickly as well. So I'm going to just do some more wispy pieces to put into the oven quickly. There we go. We've got a lot of glue there. Remember, we're not putting paint in this one because we don't want the white. We now want that sort of see-through effect. Just want to make it wispy. A bit of wisps out there. And let's give it a nice long swirly piece down that side. Here we go. I'm going to pop this in the oven and I'll be back with you shortly.